All right. Burris.
Sean.
Do we have everybody here? I can't tell who some of those call-in numbers are.
Hi, Sean. Gordon Robinson's here.
All right, we got Gordon. David, are you here? We'll do official roll call, but just want to make sure before we start.
And Chairman Sean, this is Craig Darris with the City of Corpus Christi. I am filling in today for CBA Administrator Andrew Dimas. He's out sick today.
Okay, you said Craig?
Yes, sir.
Welcome aboard. Nice to have you.
Thank you so much.
I don't know where I put it.
Do you want her to share it from her?
Yeah.
From her host? Good.
David, are you here? All right, looks like we do not have a quorum yet. We're still waiting for Mr. Walker. Burris, myself, and Mr. Robinson are here, so I know he had emailed earlier about how to get on this WebEx, so hopefully he gets it figured out. Hey, Mr. Walker, Sean Carter here. Seeing if you were having trouble getting on the WebEx meeting. We need you for a quorum. Got myself, Burris, and Gordon here. So just need a fourth. Give me a holler back if you need any assistance getting on. I know your email was responded to click on that link. If you just want to call that phone number to get on, we don't necessarily need the video of you. You'll probably need to see it, but anyhow, let me know. You can give me a call back at this number. Thanks, sir. We got no answer from Mr. Walker, and suppose. So just to confirm, we have no cases today, correct? Just a briefing of the UDC amendments, and that's it?
That is correct.
Okay, well, shucks. Yes. I mean, since we're not voting on anything, do we need a quorum to do that?
It's just a briefing.
Yeah, if we don't have a quorum, we can still give a briefing. Yeah, I don't believe we need a quorum just to give a briefing if we don't end up having the co-chair here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the board can forego calling an official meeting and staff can just move forward with the briefing to the members that are available.
That was fun.
Yeah, so just proceed with the briefing. We have nothing to vote on, nothing to need. So if we're okay to proceed, and I guess we can't have an approval of the minutes
Right.
from our. But other than that, we can proceed with the briefing. And if Mr. Walker does show up, we can go back and do the approval of the minutes. But but we can do an official roll call. So if we can go ahead and start off with that.
Sure. Okay, Chairman Karaka,
Present.
Vice Chair Walker, just double checking.
Did I hear it?
We kind of heard something, so not sure. Okay, Gordon Robinson,
Yes, present.
Ricardo Varela, and Kenton Mullins. I don't think he's on. He's the alternate.
Purpose.
And Burris McCree.
Here. Just had somebody join the call.
Mr. Walker, is that you present?
I think I'm here.
Hey, there you go. I'll let you call his name again so he can answer present and we can proceed officially.
Okay, Vice Chair Walker.
Present.
Okay, quorum established.
All right, so we have an official quorum. Outstanding, outstanding.
Are you there?
And since Dave, can you hear us?
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Looks like we just lost somebody.
I can't hear Sean.
I don't think Sean's talking.
Oh. Ross Walker. Yeah. Oh, Sean, oh. Chairman, it looks like we may have lost Mr. Walker.
The chairman, I believe you muted yourself.
Oh, was I muted?
We can hear you now.
Okay, okay. So we've lost Mr. Walker. So let's just proceed with, if he does rejoin us, we will approve the minutes from our previous meeting. And not, we'll have to do that at our following session if he does not rejoin us.
Very good. So informally, I will introduce our policy administrator, Yvette Dodd-Wallace. She will be leading us through the Unified Development Code text amendment process.
Good afternoon, board. Can everyone hear me?
Good afternoon.
Hi, Yvette Dodd-Wallace, Policy Administrator for Development Services. Today I wanted to bring forward some items that will be moving forward to Planning Commission and City Council for consideration in the upcoming month. So we began a new process in 2020, which is opening up our code amendment to the general public and visit on a biannual basis. So every 2 years, we'll be doing this code cycle, which opens up the floor for any proposed amendments that the community may have, as well as staff has gathered over the course of 2 years. For this code amendment cycle, we opened it up January the 1st, 2020, and we closed it on June 1st, 2020. And during that time, we received 60 proposed amendments. We also created a development services technical advisory group that is made up of planning commissioners and our stakeholders in the community, so our design professionals and our builders, to help us vet these amendments and to come up with language that we could agree upon between our stakeholders and city staff to move forward to our governing bodies. So out of the 60, we had 53 amendments that we discussed with the development services technical advisory group, and 42 of those proposed amendments actually would require a UDC amendment. And 5 of them, after discussion, we all just decided that needed no further amendment. We will have 13 of these amendments that we're going to consider in 2021. And that's just because some of these amendments are going to take a little bit longer than the allowed time that we had. And so we'll get a little bit further into discussion during this briefing on those. So out of the amendments that are moving forward, 12 of them were considered editing and clarifying. So what do we consider editing and clarifying? Those are changes that remove redundant and conflicting language or provide additional clarification for an adopted standard without requiring a change in our current policy. So those would remove a lot of conflicting language that if you've worked in the UDC, you know that we do have conflicting language between the UDC and the Code of Ordinances, and we actually have conflicting language between the UDC and other local, state, and federal code citations. So we'll be moving to clean some of that up. We would also be combining sections to remove redundant information and help streamline the code. So what we'll be doing a little bit further into this is we'll be amending tables to align with adopted language, clarifying language for certificate of appropriateness that needed some clarification. And then the conflicting language that we had was like for air installation and compatible use, also known as the ACUs, some of the farmers market regulations, outdoor displays, and animal pens. And some of the state law that was conflicting is for a law that was passed called Rose's Law that changed mentally retarded to intellectual disability. And then we're also removing quasi-judicial and legislative decisions that are already dictated by state law and don't need to be repeated in the UDC. We had 4 amendments that we would consider beyond editing or clarifying, and those are changes that change the intent of the code without actually making a change in policy. And some of those amendments include consolidating uses, promoting rehabilitation, and revising and clarifying existing definitions. So for that, we'd be looking at incentivizing development of distressed historic buildings. We are combining some uses such as community service and place of worships to be consistent with the Religious Land Use and Institutionalized Persons Act. We will also be consolidating mixed use and single mixed use that's already in the UDC. And then again, just revising and adding some clarifying definitions for existing language. Policy change are probably the biggest group of amendments that we're moving forward. Those are 26 amendments that we're moving forward. And these are amendments that will actually change the policy as written today and changes the intent of the code. So for that, these would include some appealed administrative exemptions. We would be moving these forward to help promote public safety. We're also reducing some lot sizes, reducing side yard setbacks for accessory dwelling units, promoting responsible development. And most of these are going to facilitate development and redevelopment. To go a little bit further into those, one of the big ones we will have is to allow for administrative exemption for sidewalks. We know that that's a topic that's brought to our governing bodies quite often. So we wanted to allow staff to make some of those decisions without having to go through all of the process to take it to, say, for instance, Planning Commission. For promoting public safety, we will be revising current language to be consistent with the International Residential Code for eaves in the easement. Everyone knows in our community here more recently in the past 20 years, the trend for development is to cram lots into a development. So more often than not, your side yard is not really a side yard, it's just a passageway. And we're promoting that proper distancing to help ensure that fire is not spreading rapidly in the event that there is a fire within that subdivision. We're also promoting proper driveway spacing, visibility, and limiting mid-block obstructions. Again, if you're from this area, you can see this very often where you'll see fences or other projectiles that are blocking your view. And it makes it hard when you're driving down that street or going through that intersection because you have to edge your vehicle out. So we would like to add some additional language that would help reduce that or encourage a proper visibility distance. When we talk accessories and lots, we're reducing side yard setbacks for non-habitable accessory units. We're also increasing allowable accessory dwelling units in low density zoning districts. And then we're reducing lot sizes in the RE, RS22 and RS10. We're also going to be taking forward some policy changes for our trust fund and developer guarantees. We're going to provide some additional but necessary language for the developer guarantees, and then add language to our water and wastewater trust funds to be consistent with the Texas Local Government Code. We're also removing the Stormwater Trust Fund, which is not a trust fund that we currently have, so we're taking that language out because we can't take anything forward for that fund. We're also looking at taking forward an exemption for existing non-conforming lots to allow them to remain non-conforming after a natural disaster or when they're utilizing local, state, federal funding for the reconstruction and rehabilitation. So after Harvey, this one was an apparent one for us. We saw the devastation for a lot of families, and they are still trying to rebuild. And more often than not, these non-conforming lots are the ones that are sitting without being reconstructed because of all the hurdles they have to go through to become a conforming lot. So in working with our housing community development group here at the City of Corpus Christi and working with the GLO, we thought this would be good language to allow for redevelopment and to get people back into their homes after a disaster. We're also removing zero lot line development from the UDC. It is a development that is not commonly used in this area. And we have other portions of the code that incorporate portions of zero lot line development. So it's not necessary to have an entire section just for that. We will be providing density bonuses for low impact development and improved parking. We will also encourage alternatives to demolition for historic properties. So earlier I mentioned that there are some amendments that we'll be looking at in 2021. And so these amendments, again, are ones that are going to take engagement by many stakeholders and take months of discussion to get the code the way that we feel it should be for our community. And so some of these that we will be taking forward are park and community enrichment fees, traffic signal placement to help promote public safety, restructuring districts or zoning districts to allow for a more effective management of land uses. We're going to look at landscaping, and for landscaping, it's to improve our air and water quality. So we may see a tree ordinance come out of that. We may see a tree removal ordinance come out of that. We're not really sure what that looks like, but we plan on having those discussions in 2021. We'll be looking at our street standards to promote public safety and connectivity. We're also looking at the wastewater exemption that would require more properties within the city limits to connect to wastewater instead of utilizing septic systems. And signs. We'll be looking at signs to ensure compliance with recent rulings in the state of Texas. So what are our next steps? All the current proposed amendments are on our website. So you can see those at www.cctexas.com/UDC. And if you go under proposed amendments, I made it into a table that includes a summary. So it tells you what's being amended, what the summary is. And if you click on the link for each one, it'll actually bring up the proposed amendment, show you the additions and strike throughs, and then show you what the final language would look like. So I'd encourage everybody to look at those. And if you have any comments, please feel free to send those to us because we would like to hear those concerns before we take it to our governing bodies. We will, briefing you today, November the 18th, Zoning Board of Adjustments. In November and December, we will have stakeholder engagement. So that's our existing UDC stakeholder group, the Coastal Bend Home Builders Association, and the Associated General Contractors. On December 9th is when we will have our first public hearing and consideration for Planning Commission. And then on January the 12th, we'll have a public hearing consideration for City Council, and that'll be the first read. And hopefully we'll be able to go the following Tuesday for our second read. And if all is approved, these would come in effect probably immediately after. So it's typically the Monday after City Council date. So we'd be looking towards the end of January. And for that, I'll stand by for any questions that y'all may have.
Great, thank you very much. Wonderful job, very thorough. Lots of good stuff there, lots of good stuff. So I'm looking at the CC Texas UDC. So this is under UDC amendments and current proposed amendments is where we'll find the details of this. Is that the correct link? It's a 4-page PDF document?
Yes, sir.
I will put it out to the board just so you guys can browse that. That link. That okay, so that's also they're beautiful. No, there's a lot of well needed and long overdue amendments. So glad for this. Gentlemen, got any comments, questions for Ms. Dodd Wallace while we have her? Nope. All right. Well, thank you very much for the very thorough summary, and we appreciate your time today. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, board.
Thank you. See ya.
And
Yes, Sean?
Director's report for today.
Well, since we did not have quorum, we'll just have to adjourn due to lack of quorum, and you'll wait until the next meeting to get the director's report.
All right, well, wonderful. So no official adjournment, no motion to adjourn, we'll just adjourn. So y'all have a wonderful afternoon. Great having y'all, and enjoy the rest of your week.
You too.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Take care.
Happy Thanksgiving.